In the explosion of the clone, fog rolled in, and the woman in purple immediately sensed that the space around her had slightly loosened. Without hesitation, she turned to retreat. However, at that moment, a strange thumb suddenly appeared through the mist ahead. A look of horrified despair flashed in the woman's eyes. Following the appearance of the thumb, Wang Lin's cold eyes emerged from the mist. He stared at the woman, as though looking at a corpse. "Stop!" At this moment, several long rainbows shot through the air, and a furious shout echoed from within. Wang Lin snorted coldly. He had been waiting for these people to arrive. His right thumb didn't retract. Instead, it moved faster than before, and in the blink of an eye, it pressed against the woman's forehead. Her eyes instantly dimmed, her body trembled lightly, and with a flick of Wang Lin's index finger, she fell from midair to the ground. However, her primary soul was sealed by Wang Lin's thumb. At this moment, the fog around them dissipated, and Wang Lin stood in midair with his right thumb at his mouth. He inhaled deeply, sealing the woman's primary soul inside the soul banner. Long rainbows cut through the sky, and four figures suddenly appeared about 100 yards in front of Wang Lin. The four were 3 men and 1 woman. Among the men, Wang Lin recognized 2 of them. One was the kind-faced Zhao Xingsha, and the other, a familiar face, was Bai Wei from the Trading Star. As for the last man, he was middle-aged with an ordinary appearance, but at this moment, an overwhelming fury radiated from him. He glared at Wang Lin and snarled, "Killing fellow disciples? Today, I will clean up the sect on behalf of our master." Behind the 3 men stood a woman. She was beautiful, with an ethereal, graceful air, and a fragrance seemed to emanate from her. She wore a strange expression, as if she were watching a spectacle, and casually glanced at Wang Lin. After these 4, countless more long rainbows arrived. Wang Lin scanned them with his divine sense and quickly recognized them as disciples of the Violet sect. They had likely noticed the disturbance and come to observe. These newcomers did not approach, but stopped 1,000 yards away. Gradually, more and more people appeared in the distance. Eventually, the entire sky was filled with Violet sect disciples, all of their gazes fixed on Wang Lin. Among these gazes, there were many different emotions, but most were filled with shock. The middle-aged man who had shouted was about to step forward, but he was stopped by Zhao Xingsha. The middle-aged man's gaze hardened as he stared at Zhao Xingsha, his voice cold as he said, "Senior brother, what do you mean by this?" At this moment, Zhao Xingsha's expression was serious. He ignored the middle-aged man and instead looked at Wang Lin, saying in a deep voice, "Junior brother Wang Lin, you are ranked 7th, so I will call you 7th brother. What exactly happened today?" Wang Lin remained calm. The arrival of these people was within his expectations. This must have been something that Tian Yunzi secretly orchestrated. Wang Lin couldn't quite grasp Tian Yunzi's thoughts, but at this moment, he showed no fear. Zhao Xingsha, mid-infant metamorphosis stage. Bai Wei, mid-infant metamorphosis stage. The middle-aged man was also at the mid-infant metamorphosis stage. What truly caught Wang Lin's attention was the woman. Her cultivation was incredibly strong. Late infant metamorphosis stage. Wang Lin's eyes flashed. "Who is Sun Yun?" In response to Zhao Xingsha's question, Wang Lin said flatly. The 4 of them immediately changed their expressions. Zhao Xingsha stared at Wang Lin for a moment, then shook his head and said, "7th brother, you're mistaken about this matter. I cannot help you." He then let go of the middle-aged man's arm. The middle-aged man looked at Wang Lin and stepped forward with great strides, crossing 100 yards to stand just 10 yards away from Wang Lin. His voice was cold as he said, "An indigenous cultivator from the abandoned star. Today, I will let you know what true divine abilities are." A dangerous aura emanated from this man. Wang Lin stared at him, his right hand resting on his storage pouch. Just as the tension reached its peak, Bai Wei's eyes revealed a hint of struggle. She suddenly said, "Second senior brother, using forbidden techniques among fellow disciples is against the sect rules." The middle-aged man gave Bai Wei a sideways glance and sneered. "He killed 5th junior sister. Do you still have feelings for him, Bai Wei?" Bai Wei's eyes sparkled with a strange light. She stared at the middle-aged man, then lightly smiled and said, "Senior brother, you've just crossed the line with your words. I'll remember that." The middle-aged man snorted and turned his head, staring at Wang Lin. His voice was cold as he said, "Make your move. I'll let you cast 3 spells first. Even if you use a magical treasure, I'll let you use it." Wang Lin calmly looked at the man. This middle-aged man's cultivation was at the mid-infant metamorphosis stage, and his immortal power far exceeded Wang Lin's. But Wang Lin had many magical treasures, and with Situ Nan's 3 killing moves, Wang Lin had a 70% chance of winning against someone in the mid-infant metamorphosis stage. 3 spells. A slight smile appeared on Wang Lin's lips. He raised his right hand and pointed his thumb at the man, lightly exhaling. "All right." In an instant, the immortal power within Wang Lin's body surged wildly, and the tip of his thumb emitted a strange, eerie glow, as if it was drawing all the surrounding light toward it. At the same time, Wang Lin took a step forward, and his thumb suddenly pressed forward. The middle-aged man had already noticed Wang Lin's divine ability earlier. Seeing Wang Lin use it again, he couldn't help but sneer, taking a deep breath. He slammed his hands together, and a golden aura suddenly erupted from his forehead. The golden light was dazzling and immediately enveloped his entire body. A vast force emanated from his body, spreading out. Before he could react, Wang Lin's thumb arrived in an instant, pressing directly into the golden light in front of the man. The giant man roared, "Forbidden technique, abyss of oblivion." Suddenly, the golden light around the giant man's body seemed to come alive, wriggling wildly. In the blink of an eye, it formed a golden thumb identical to Wang Lin's, and it collided with his thumb. Wang Lin smiled coldly, retracting his right thumb in an instant. At the same time, his left hand swept across his storage pouch, and the Kunji whip immediately flew out. With a sharp crack, the giant man's golden thumb, which had formed from his light, instantly shattered, and the golden light surrounding him also dissipated under the force of the whip. "This is the first time. Now it's the second. Second, senior brother, don't hide," Wang Lin said as he flicked the Kunji whip again. The whip shot forward like a roaring dragon, creating a fierce gust of wind. With a resounding crack that pierced the soul, the giant man's face turned pale. His essence spirit was almost struck out by the whip. The golden light around him collapsed entirely. Seeing that the third strike was about to land, the giant man immediately retreated dozens of feet, his face filled with shock. He stared at Wang Lin's whip and said with a grim expression, "What kind of treasure is this?" Wang Lin looked at him, chuckling lightly. "One more whip left." The giant man's expression darkened as he snorted coldly, reaching into his storage pouch. A massive long sword suddenly appeared in his hands. He shook it, and a sword intent shot into the sky. Counting the hand seal from before, that's 3 moves. There is no such thing as one more whip. Today, let me clear the gate for Master. Wang Lin died. As he spoke, he surged forward, throwing the long sword into the air and shouted, 10 directions, 8-fold array. As soon as the sword was thrown, it immediately split into 2, then 4, rapidly multiplying until countless swords descended from the sky, heading straight for Wang Lin. At the same time, the middle-aged man sat cross-legged, forming hand seals and chanting incantations. A black mist rapidly rose from his crown and hung in the air, spreading like dark clouds. As his chanting grew faster, the black mist thickened, darkening the sky. Wang Lin's eyes flickered, and with a flick of his right hand, the immortal sword shot out, heading straight for the incoming flying swords. At the same time, the crescent blade followed closely, roaring like thunder as it charged forward. Booming sounds echoed as the flying swords above shattered one by one, breaking into fragments and falling all around. After doing this, Wang Lin waved his left hand, and the battle axe appeared in his grasp. At that moment, he resembled an ancient war god. With a single step, he crossed several feet, and the battle axe slashed down toward the middle-aged man, who was sitting cross-legged on the ground. The middle-aged man suddenly opened his eyes. His eyes were completely black, and he grinned fiercely. He jumped up, and the black mist in the sky seemed to funnel down, dividing into 7 streams that entered his 7 orifices. Forbidden technique, immortal demonic body. The middle-aged man roared as he stepped forward. Wang Lin's battle axe immediately struck him. A loud, metallic clang rang out, but the giant man's body was unharmed. As for Wang Lin, he felt a powerful force emanate from the axe, and his arm immediately tingled with numbness. The giant man grinned maliciously, his body shook, and he instantly transformed into a cloud of black mist, sweeping toward Wang Lin. As it passed, the earth cracked, and the plants withered. Wang Lin's eyes flashed, and he retreated quickly. At the same time, he waved his right hand, and the beast-taming ring on his wrist detached and fell aside with a bang, transforming into the divine chariot. A killing intent flashed in Wang Lin's eyes. The moment this man struck, he used a so-called forbidden technique, and the power of the technique was immense. Without Wang Lin's vast collection of treasures, it would have been impossible to resist. The black mist, now created by the middle-aged man, surged toward Wang Lin. At this moment, the immortal sword in the sky flashed and headed directly for the mist, followed by the crescent blade, which almost instantly pierced through it. A faint grunt came from the black mist, and without caring for the incoming sword and blade, the mist rushed directly toward Wang Lin. Wang Lin's eyes glinted with coldness, his right hand formed a seal, and he softly murmured, "Demon Transformation Finger." The second killing move technique taught by Situ Nan was unleashed. However, this tiny flame was something Wang Lin had barely managed to learn after a month of painstaking effort under Situ Nan's guidance. This flame was demonic fire. Burning with the immortal power within his body, it transformed into demonic fire after reversal. As Situ Nan had put it, this fire could easily kill any cultivator in the mid-infant metamorphosis stage. The flame spiraled around his fingertip, and Wang Lin's eyes turned cold. Under the flickering glow of the demonic fire, he seemed to exude a sinister, otherworldly aura. With a flick of his right index finger, he pointed forward. As black mist surged toward him, the demonic fire on his fingertip shot forward and merged into the mist. In an instant, the mist began to seethe as though boiling water, surging and roiling. It swiftly retreated 3 feet away from Wang Lin, and startled shouts echoed from within it. Wang Lin sneered coldly. He lunged forward, flipping his right hand, and the Kunji whip appeared in his grasp. With a series of cracking sounds, he lashed out wildly with the whip. The black mist writhed even more violently, as if it were on the brink of collapsing, rapidly retreating as Wang Lin relentlessly pursued, whipping the mist with furious strikes. At this moment, Zhao Xingsha, who had been observing from the sidelines, changed expression. His body shifted, and he rushed forward, shouting, "Seventh brother, stop!" As Zhao Xingsha spoke, he slapped his storage pouch. A white light wheel appeared in his hand, and a strange glint flashed in his eyes as he prepared to throw it. At that very moment, Wang Lin suddenly turned his head, staring coldly at the incoming Zhao Xingsha. He shouted, "You get lost!" Zhao Xingsha's expression changed, but he sneered. Instead of retreating, he accelerated. With a flick of his wrist, the light wheel flew straight at Wang Lin. Wang Lin's eyes flashed with disdain. He raised his left hand and pointed at the divine chariot that was nearby, coldly saying, "Unseal." The words had barely left his mouth when a deafening roar erupted from the chariot, shaking the entire mountain. The sound spread for tens of thousands of miles, carrying with it a fierce cry of defiance, defying heaven, defying earth, defying immortals, defying demons, defying everything in the world. The roar exploded outward with a wild intensity. Zhao Xingsha's body stopped abruptly. His face went pale as he turned and gazed blankly at the divine chariot. He immediately retreated in panic. Atop the divine chariot, a gigantic soul beast, about 100 feet tall, lifted its massive head. Its eyes glowed with a chilling, eerie light that caused anyone who looked at it to shiver uncontrollably. As soon as the soul beast appeared, Bai Wei didn't hesitate. She quickly retreated, putting 1,000 feet of distance between herself and the beast before halting, staring at it in horror. The woman in the late infant metamorphosis stage also changed her expression. She retreated hundreds of feet, looking at the soul beast with a thoughtful expression. It was clear that she, too, had reservations about this creature. If they were this shaken, there was no need to mention the disciples of the Violet sect on the outer perimeter. Their faces were all filled with shock. The unyielding roar just now had caused a significant number of them to experience mental turmoil. Some even found it difficult to continue flying, as the flow of their spiritual energy was disrupted. Among the surrounding disciples, several law enforcement elders were silently groaning inwardly. They thought to themselves that they absolutely could not involve themselves in the ancestors' disciple succession struggle. After all, anyone chosen by such a formidable figure as the ancestor would undoubtedly be no weakling. Despite being in the early infant metamorphosis stage, this person's overall strength was enough to make even those in the late infant metamorphosis stage falter. The surrounding disciples quickly retreated, their gazes towards Wang Lin filled with not only shock, but also a growing sense of reverence. In the cultivation world, the strong are always respected by the weak. That is an unshakable rule. Wang Lin's eyes turned cold as he stared at Zhao Xingsha, who was hastily retreating. He muttered softly, "Kill him, and I'll allow you to devour his soul and use it as your offering." The soul beast atop the divine chariot suddenly turned its massive head and cast a deep, lingering gaze at Wang Lin. It let out another terrifying roar. In an instant, the beast's body moved, and with a loud rattle, thick iron chains shot out from its body, connecting to the divine chariot. As it charged, the chains stretched taut, making a cracking sound as though they might snap at any moment. Even the divine chariot was dragged up by the soul beast's charge, following closely behind. Zhao Xingsha's face changed drastically. He screamed as he retreated rapidly, shouting, "Third brother, fourth brother, make your move." Wang Lin sneered, no longer paying attention to Zhao Xingsha. Instead, he flicked his whip and lashed out at the black mist again. The cries within the mist grew even more frantic. 3 breaths later, the black mist suddenly collapsed, turning into a middle-aged man. The man landed heavily, his face pale and bloodless, his eyes vacant. As soon as he touched the ground, his legs wobbled, and he nearly fell. At that moment, Wang Lin whipped him with his Kunji whip, striking him in the chest. The man's essence spirit was instantly ripped from his body, pulled out 3 feet into the air. Wang Lin put away the Kunji whip, and with a wave of his right hand, the soul banner appeared in his grasp. A slight shake of the banner sent several primary souls flashing out, heading straight toward the middle-aged man's essence spirit. Having done all this, Wang Lin calmly stood between the heavens and the earth, his gaze serene. Scanning the area, every disciple of the Violet sect lowered their heads, unwilling to meet his gaze. Even the law enforcement elders were no exception, their hearts filled with shock and fear. This Wang Lin, coming from an abandoned star, how could he possess such divine abilities? This doubt arose in everyone's mind, lingering for a long time without dispersing. Finally, Wang Lin's gaze settled on Bai Wei and the woman in the late infant metamorphosis stage. He spoke flatly. "Do you two still wish to make a move?" Bai Wei smiled bitterly and shook her head. The woman, however, flashed a glint in her eyes and giggled. "Seventh brother has shown his power today, making us truly recognize you. If there's another chance in the future, let's battle again." Wang Lin nodded. With a beckon of his right hand, the primary souls pursuing the middle-aged man immediately abandoned their chase and quickly returned to Wang Lin's side. With a deep breath, Wang Lin inhaled them all, swallowing them into his mouth, where they entered the soul banner within his essence spirit. The middle-aged man's essence spirit was now filled with fear. He was truly afraid. Earlier, he had transformed into an immortal demon body using forbidden techniques, capable of devouring all matter. However, his sword and blade couldn't be consumed, and then that seemingly weak violet flame had entered his body, causing his immortal demon body to collapse. The backlash left him severely injured, with a trace of the violet flame still burning within him. As it burned, his blood began to vaporize rapidly. This wasn't over. The strange whip had repeatedly struck him, causing more damage. Each strike passed through his flesh and reached his essence spirit. The final blow even tore his essence spirit out, a divine weapon that left him mentally shaken. Then, he encountered several other souls in the infant metamorphosis stage pursuing him. If Wang Lin didn't recall his souls, the only option for the middle-aged man would be to self-destruct, sacrificing most of his cultivation to escape. As for Zhao Xingsha, despite his speed, he couldn't outrun the soul beast. It was about to be swallowed by the beast when, suddenly, a peaceful light descended from the sky. The light transformed into shining crystals that merged together. In an instant, they formed an old man. With a benevolent expression, the old man had long eyebrows flowing with a faint smile on his lips. He glanced at the soul beast. Then, with a flick of his right hand, he smiled. What a fine beast! The soul beast immediately halted, glaring at the old man. It growled, yet its eyes betrayed a sense of fear. The old man shook his head slightly, then slapped the air with his right hand. The soul beast whimpered, its enormous body shrinking, and with a flick of the old man's hand, it was sent back to the divine chariot with a thud, turning into the beast-taming ring. Zhao Xingsha's face turned pale. Upon seeing the old man, he immediately bowed respectfully. Greetings, master. Bai Wei and the woman in the late infant metamorphosis stage also had solemn expressions and bowed respectfully. Greetings, master. The middle-aged man, who had lost his physical body, also displayed extreme reverence. His essence spirit halted in midair, not yet having returned to his body, and bowed respectfully. Disciple greets master. At that moment, all the disciples of the violet sect around them immediately knelt and bowed, showing their respects. The old man nodded slightly. With a wave of his right hand, a gentle force wrapped around the middle-aged man's essence spirit and swiftly returned it to his body. His injuries healed instantly. Once all this was done, the old man's gaze turned to Wang Lin, a smile appearing on his face. In truth, you have met me before. Wang Lin summoned the beast-taming ring to his hand. He looked up at the old man, his previously domineering expression now gone, replaced with one of respect. Junior Wang Lin pays respects to Senior Tian Yunzi. The old man nodded, glancing behind Wang Lin at the Violet Forest Pavilion, which had been severely damaged during the battle. Only the three characters, Violet Forest Pavilion, remained intact. Good calligraphy. The old man stroked his white beard, and with a flick of his right hand, a flash of white light shimmered. The Violet Forest Pavilion instantly restored to its original state, as if no disaster had ever occurred. Even the cracked earth and scattered rocks had returned to their original form. Wang Lin's heart shook as he watched this divine ability in awe. Tian Yunzi, the old man continued, I saw you on Vermilion Birdstar many years ago, and had the thought of taking you as my disciple. I had intended to make you a centennial nominal disciple, but when I saw you again, I changed my mind. Would you be willing to become my disciple and cultivate the heavenly Tao, joining my violet lineage as a true disciple? Tian Yunzi looked at Wang Lin seriously. Wang Lin gazed at Tian Yunzi. Then after a moment, he kneeled on one knee and respectfully said, Disciple Wang Lin, respectfully greets master. Good. Tian Yunzi laughed, his gaze turning kind. Now, release your fifth senior sister's essence spirit. If you delay, won't I be short one disciple? Wang Lin raised his head, speaking flatly. I can release fifth senior sister's essence spirit, but as for the other two, they disrespected me, so they cannot be freed. Tian Yunzi was silent for a moment, then smiled faintly and gave Wang Lin a deep, approving look. Good. The moment she appeared, she immediately screamed in anger and lunged at Wang Lin. Wang Lin's gaze flickered, and although his body remained unmoved, his eyes revealed a cold gleam. Enough, Tian Yunzi said calmly. With those words, the purple-clad woman's primordial soul immediately shattered into countless crystal-like specks, which Tian Yunzi flicked into his sleeve with a wave of his hand. Wang Lin's heart trembled, and his pupils contracted sharply. He stared at the spot where the purple-clad woman's primordial soul had dissipated, remaining silent. Everyone leave. Wang Lin stays. Tian Yunzi waved his sleeve and floated down, landing outside the Violet Forest Pavilion. Bai Wei quickly bowed and said yes, stepping back and transforming into a long rainbow that flew off into the distance. As for the woman in the mid-infant metamorphosis stage, she also bowed respectfully and left with Bai Wei. The middle-aged man and Zhao Xingsha had grim expressions, especially Zhao Xingsha, whose face was dark and unpleasant. He cast Wang Lin a deep glance before turning to leave. The outer disciples of the Violet sect dispersed, and from this day on, Wang Lin's image had completely changed in their hearts. Not a single one of them dared to show disrespect to Wang Lin. Wang Lin stood respectfully beside Tian Yunzi, his head lowered in silence. Tian Yunzi's power far exceeded what he had imagined. Secretly, Wang Lin compared him to Situ Nan and had to admit that Situ Nan was no match for Tian Yunzi. After all, Situ Nan couldn't shatter a person's primordial soul with a single word, nor could he restore everything to its original state with just a phrase. This was already in the realm of immortal arts, beyond the scope of a cultivator's divine abilities. Over the past month, Situ Nin had explained various techniques to Wang Lin, but what had left the deepest impression on him was the immortal arts. These weren't just techniques using immortal power, they were truly immortal arts, immense divine abilities like the heavenly Dao Seal art granted by the Cultivation Alliance to the Cultivation Star. The Seal art required inheritance, while immortal arts only needed incantations and gestures. Since the immortal realm's collapse, many immortal arts had disappeared, and as time passed, they became increasingly rare. Immortal arts were also ranked in tiers: low-grade, mid-grade, and high-grade immortal arts. There was even a rare category called Ultimate Immortal Arts, which was so rare that Situ Nin had only heard of them. As for the 3 killing moves he taught Wang Lin, they were actually derived from a defective low-grade immortal art Situ Nin had obtained from the Vermilion Bird Patriarch, Yi Wuyo, many years ago. Situ Nin couldn't restore it. He could only imitate it. After years of refinement, he had finally crafted these 3 moves. Since Situ Nin practiced the demonic path, the killing moves he imitated had a demonic nature. Tian Yunzi stood quietly outside the Violet Forest Pavilion, gazing at the character Lin for a long time without speaking. The surroundings were silent, and Wang Lin stood by his side, equally silent. He didn't understand Tian Yunzi's temperament and had no idea what his master was thinking at that moment, but from his demeanor, there seemed to be no anger. After a long while, Tian Yunzi sighed and withdrew his gaze, turning to Wang Lin. With a smile, he said, "What a great character, Lin. Indeed, when I look at it, there is a rebellious air as though it is trying to break free. I imagine someone around you practices the demonic path, and their influence over time has naturally left a trace of demonic aura on you." Wang Lin's heart jolted, but his expression remained unchanged. However, his mind quickly shifted and fixed on the image of his second senior brother, the middle-aged man, performing forbidden techniques to transform into an immortal demon body. He felt a quiet understanding and nodded calmly, saying, "There is indeed someone by my side, but we parted ways during our journey." Tian Yunzi stroked his white beard and smiled. Even if they came to Tianyun Star, it wouldn't matter. In my eyes, there is no distinction between good and evil, immortal and demon. All that matters is following the flow of nature. Heavenly fate. The world is governed by heavenly fate. As long as one holds true to the Tao, any path can be cultivated. Wang Lin nodded in agreement. He had just recalled the techniques of his second senior brother, which were clearly not from orthodox sects, but from a demonic path that involved devouring divine abilities. This was why he spoke honestly, fearing that a lie would be seen through by Tian Yunzi. Rest for now. In 3 months, it will be my birthday. Immortals and great cultivators from all over Tianyun Star and the surrounding areas will come. During this time, I will take the opportunity to announce you as my disciple, which will also leave an impression on the people of Tianyun Star. There are other matters as well, and I believe your eldest senior brother will inform you soon," Tian Yunzi said, before stepping into the void and slowly vanishing with each step. Wang Lin respectfully saw Tian Yunzi off, and then turned to enter the Violet Forest Pavilion. On the 3rd floor of the Violet Forest Pavilion, in a secret chamber, Wang Lin sat cross-legged, letting out a deep breath. He looked around, his eyes flashing with strange light. At the Tianyun sect, I've managed to gain a foothold, but it seems that here, avoiding confrontation isn't the way to survive. In fact, it's the arrogant ones who tend to thrive. Tian Yunzi has probably been keeping a close watch on me all this time. He must have seen every treasure I possess, and while the Divine Chariot is nothing special, the Immortal Sword is the key item. But this was all to be expected. To truly establish myself here, I know the Immortal Sword can't escape Tian Yunzi's notice. Since I'm not hiding anything, I've decided to openly use it. Tian Yunzi likely wouldn't dare ask his disciples for it, and even if he did, I would just give it to him. Who knows, it might even be a good opportunity to gain some benefits in return. That forbidden art used by second senior brother, it's a great technique. Currently, my cultivation has reached the peak of the early infant metamorphosis stage, especially within the 3 entry gates. When facing human matters, I reflect deeply within my heart, contemplating through many lifetimes of reincarnation to understand the Tao. Within the heavenly gate, I've been probing the heavenly Tao, and my comprehension of the artistic conception has reached a new level. Now, the mid-infant metamorphosis stage is within reach. However, to achieve that, I'll need a large amount of immortal jade. At my current stock, I'm still a bit short. After pondering for a while, Wang Lin formed seals with his hands, activating a series of protective restriction seals around the entire Violet Forest Pavilion. He then closed his eyes and began meditating and regulating his breath. To the east of the Violet Sect, within a lavish pavilion set on a floor paved with jade, there stood 3 large characters carved into the entrance. Violet Star Pavilion. At this moment, Zhao Xingsha, his face darkened, appeared from the outside and strode into the Violet Star Pavilion. As soon as he entered, he clenched his fist tightly and punched the air with a forceful strike. Wang Lin, I've been following the teachings of my master for over 2,000 years, and I know his temperament well. He didn't take you to the ancestral pavilion to pay respects, nor did he teach you any life-saving forbidden techniques. There's definitely something fishy going on. If I'm not mistaken, this is the real test my master has set for you. In 3 months, during the grand birthday celebration, if you can surpass the purple lineage, only then will he truly accept you as a disciple. But Wang Lin, I won't give you that chance. I don't care about the Purple Cloud Pavilion, but the title of one of the 7 children of heavenly destiny among the Violet lineage must be mine. Second senior brother will definitely harbor resentment after his failure, and I can use that to my advantage. As for third senior brother, he's unpredictable, a bit troublesome, but I have my ways to make him submit. Fourth senior sister, her cultivation is profound, but I have my own methods to deal with her. The real problem is sixth senior brother. He's already reached the peak of his cultivation, yet ever since Sun Yun took the title of the 7th child of heavenly destiny from him years ago, he's been out in the world training. If he returns, that's one thing, but if he doesn't, then my only true rival will be Wang Lin. I never paid much attention to him before, but now, seeing his abilities, I realize his powers aren't bad, and his treasures are not lacking. His cultivation may be at the early infant metamorphosis stage, but he can still threaten those at the mid-infant metamorphosis stage. He is my greatest opponent. If only I had fully recovered from my injuries. Otherwise, this early infant metamorphosis stage would be no threat at all. A strange glint flickered in Zhao Xingsha's eyes as he looked up at the direction of the Violet Forest Pavilion, a sinister smile tugging at the corners of his mouth. Seventh brother, let fourth senior sister have her fight with you first. I won't kill you, but I'll make sure you're severely injured, forcing you into secluded meditation for years to come. By then, I will have become one of the 7 children of heavenly destiny, and with my cultivation restored, you will no longer be a threat. To the west of the Violet Sect, in a particularly elegant pavilion filled with a milky white aura, there stood the Violet Star Pavilion. Bai Wei sat quietly inside the pavilion, with a freshly broken branch lying in front of him. The branch was still fresh, with tender buds beginning to sprout. Bai Wei gazed at the branch, his expression thoughtful. Wang Lin's cultivation is strange. When I met him at the Trading Star, I had a vague feeling that he should have been stronger than he is now, not needing treasures or divine abilities to achieve the same effects. It seems 7th brother has many secrets, but the more secrets, the more intriguing, Bai Wei murmured softly to himself, his eyes showing a hint of fascination. His right index finger gently touched the corner of his lips. As night fell, the Violet Sect appeared particularly serene under the moonlight. That night, the only topic discussed among the sect's disciples was Wang Lin. The name Wang Lin shone brightly in the night sky like a meteor, drawing the attention of everyone around. But no one knew if this meteoric rise would be fleeting or everlasting. Wang Lin sat cross-legged, meditating and regulating his breath, remaining undisturbed through the night. The next morning, as the first rays of sunlight fell from the top of the 3rd floor of the Violet Forest Pavilion, Wang Lin opened his eyes. A glint of sharpness flashed in his gaze. He stood up, descended to the 3rd floor, and walked out. Immortal Jade. Wang Lin murmured thoughtfully, his expression changing as he raised his head and looked toward the pavilion's exterior. A moment later, a soft voice drifted from outside. "Seventh junior brother, do you have a moment?" Wang Lin's expression immediately turned strange. Within the Violet sect, he had no fear of Zhao Xingxia or fourth senior sister, but when it came to third senior brother Bai Wei, he instinctively kept his distance. Wang Lin maintained a certain gap between them and said in a low voice, "I wonder what brings third senior brother here." Bai Wei smiled sweetly, biting his lower lip as he replied, "Of course I have something. Seventh brother, you haven't picked up your clothes, waistplate, and other items. I've taken care of it for you and brought them over." With that, he waved his right hand, and a storage pouch flew towards Wang Lin. Wang Lin took it, scanning it with his divine sense, and found 2 sets of purple robes and a token inside. "Thank you." Wang Lin cupped his hands and said calmly. "No need," Bai Wei smiled. "You're not familiar with Violet Sect Mountain. Let me introduce it to you." Wang Lin's eyes flickered with a strange look, and he firmly declined. "I appreciate your kindness, but there's no need. I still have to focus on cultivation, third senior brother. Perhaps another day." Wang Lin took 2 steps back. To him, Bai Wei felt extremely strange, and being around him gave Wang Lin an uncomfortable sensation. Bai Wei looked at Wang Lin, his expression somewhat dimmed. He spoke softly, "Seventh junior brother, I mean no harm. But the Violet lineage is quite complicated. I've been thinking about it all night, and I've decided to inform you. Don't you want to hear it?" Wang Lin was silent for a moment. He slapped the storage pouch, and white light flickered. Several sets of tables and chairs appeared on the ground, along with teacups and teapot. Wang Lin's gaze was clear as he lifted his robe's hem and sat down to the side, smiling. "Third senior brother, please sit." Bai Wei chuckled lightly and sat down, pouring tea for Wang Lin first, and then for himself. After setting down the teapot, he spoke softly. "When we parted that day, I didn't expect that you were the centennial nominal disciple that Master had mentioned years ago." Wang Lin smiled but didn't respond. Bai Wei picked up his teacup, took a sip, and his eyes flashed. Suddenly, he said, "Wang Lin, be careful of eldest senior brother." Wang Lin's expression remained unchanged as he looked up at Bai Wei, waiting for him to continue. Bai Wei set down his teacup and spoke slowly. "Eldest senior brother is the one who has followed Master the longest within the Violet lineage. He knows many things we don't, such as why Master has been on Destiny Star for countless millennia, while most disciples only cultivate for about 1,000 years, with very few exceeding 10,000 years. Others may not know this, but eldest senior brother surely does." Wang Lin's eyes narrowed. He had considered this matter before, but hadn't thought deeply about it. Hearing Bai Wei's words now, he became more interested. Where did Master's previous disciples go? This question isn't only on your mind or mine. Even eldest senior brother, second senior brother, fourth senior brother, and fifth senior brother have been puzzled by it. If anyone in the Violet lineage knows, besides eldest senior brother, I suspect it's old seventh Sun Yun. I even suspect that the reason he left the sect was because of this. Wang Lin fell silent. After a while, he spoke slowly. "Since this matter is still unresolved, it's better not to guess blindly." Bai Wei's eyes subtly flickered with an odd glimmer. He was silent for a moment before speaking. "The Violet lineage is the weakest among Master's 7 lineage disciples. Even so, there's still quite a bit of conflict, especially with eldest senior brother. He's been eyeing the title of the 7 children of heavenly destiny for a long time. Don't underestimate eldest senior brother. His cultivation wasn't always like this. Back then, he fought with 6th junior brother for the title of 7 children of heavenly destiny, but he was severely injured and his cultivation fell drastically. However, he is extremely persistent and spent several hundred years in seclusion to seek revenge. Unfortunately, Sun Yun emerged, defeated eldest senior brother and 6th senior brother, and claimed the title. 3 months from now, when Master celebrates his birthday, the 7 children of heavenly destiny title will appear again, and this time, eldest senior brother will stop at nothing to claim it. Unless 6th senior brother returns from his travels, you, an outsider, will definitely be his target to eliminate." Wang Lin frowned slightly and said in a deep voice, "The title of the 7 children of heavenly destiny is just an empty title. Why fight so fiercely for it?" Bai Wei was stunned, looking at Wang Lin. After a long while, he suddenly laughed aloud. An empty title, seventh brother. Do you know what it means to become one of the 7 children of heavenly destiny? Once you do, on Destiny Star, you will be among the few under the heavens, above millions. Every cultivation nation will bow to you, and you'll have countless followers. Besides that, the 7 children of heavenly destiny each have their own land for cultivation. Anywhere on Destiny Star, even other stars, can be chosen as your cultivation place. These are secondary benefits. The most important thing is that for us, the infant metamorphosis cultivators, our greatest wish in life is to ask the heavens. To seek the Tao, live a full life. You should know, when one seeks the Tao, there are immense risks, even the possibility of a total breakdown, leaving no room for recovery. It's a 9 out of 10 chance of death. But once you become one of the 7 children of heavenly destiny, Master will intervene to assist you. Although it may not guarantee success completely, at least it will increase the chances by 30%. Tell me, who wouldn't be tempted by such an offer? Wang Lin took a deep breath, his gaze flickering. And that's not all. For people like us, the amount of immortal jade needed for cultivation is unimaginable. Even as disciples of the Master, we receive a fixed share each month, but as our cultivation increases, it's still not enough. However, once we become the 7 children of heavenly destiny, the entire Tianyun sect will provide us with an endless supply of immortal jade. You wouldn't be moved by that. Wang Lin's pupils contracted. Also, if you're not interested in reputation, if you don't care about seeking dominance, and if you don't care about immortal jade, then do you know that once you become one of the 7 children of heavenly destiny, you'll have the chance to truly receive the Master's teachings? The Master's teachings are not a mere illusion, but the true imparting of immortal arts. The 7 children of heavenly destiny from 1,000 years ago were granted a full lower rank immortal technique. And that is a complete lower rank immortal technique. Wang Lin's gaze grew serious as he spoke each word clearly. 1,000 years of the 7 children of heavenly destiny, and you're granted a lower rank immortal technique. This is no exaggeration. Wang Lin said solemnly. It's absolutely true. Li Shengnan from the Azure lineage, 1,000-year heavenly destiny child, received a complete lower rank immortal technique from the Master a century ago. She has been in seclusion ever since, and once she emerges, her strength will reach a terrifying level. Bai Wei nodded in agreement. Wang Lin's eyes flashed with a strange gleam, and after a moment of silence, he nodded. He stood up, clasped his fists in respect to Bai Wei, and said, "Third senior brother, I am tired for today. I'll visit when I have time." Bai Wei smiled and stood up, saying, "It's no trouble. Since you feel that way, I won't disturb you. Seventh brother, if you need anything, feel free to come find me." With that, Bai Wei returned the gesture and turned to leave. The moment he turned around, the smile on his face disappeared instantly, replaced by a cold, sinister expression. "Eldest senior brother, if you wish to become one of the 7 children of heavenly destiny, as long as I, Bai Wei, am alive, it will never happen. I will make sure you fail every time. Only then will I take my revenge for what you did to me all those years ago." Wang Lin returned to the Violet Forest Pavilion, his gaze flickering. A complete lower rank immortal technique. If this had been mentioned before, Wang Lin wouldn't have fully understood how precious it was. But after spending a month with Situ Nan, especially after learning the 3 killing moves, Wang Lin had gained a deep understanding of immortal arts. Situ Nan, using a fragmentary immortal technique, had created killing moves of such power. This alone proved that the power of a complete immortal technique was unimaginable. Immortals were powerful for 2 reasons. One was the immortal treasures they possessed, and the other was their immortal techniques. An immortal who possessed a top-grade immortal treasure and mastered top-grade immortal techniques was almost a terrifying existence. The higher their cultivation, the greater their power. There might be methods that could rival immortal techniques, but as far as Wang Lin knew, only the divine abilities of the ancient God clan could compare. The divine abilities of the ancient God clan, recorded in the memory inheritance of 2C, were numerous. However, these abilities could only be used by members of the ancient God clan, and the requirements were extremely strict. With his current cultivation, Wang Lin couldn't use them. The 7 children of heavenly destiny, interesting. Wang Lin's eyes flashed, and after pondering for a moment, he changed into his disciple robes, took his command token, and left the Violet Forest Pavilion. It was now close to noon, and the scorching sun overhead emitted waves of intense heat. Wang Lin, dressed in purple, with his long hair flowing in the wind, looked quite graceful. As he walked along the Violet Sect Mountain, every disciple he passed, whether near or far, stopped and bowed with respect, calling him Seventh Grand Ancestor. Wang Lin walked on, gradually coming to realize something. In Tianyun's sect, it wasn't like the sects on the Vermilion Bird Star, where seniority was determined by strength. Instead, it followed the ancient tradition of immortal sects, where elders were respected, and seniority was determined by when one joined the sect. This was why, even though Sun Yun had become one of the 7 children of heavenly destiny, when he saw Zhao Xingsha, he still had to address him as eldest senior brother. The Violet Sect Mountain was vast, and Wang Lin had explored it many times before. Now, as he walked, he wasn't unfamiliar with it. His destination was the Violet Star Pavilion. This pavilion was where disciples usually received pills and spiritual stones, and where Bai Wei had received her clothes and token. As a disciple of Tianyun's sect, Wang Lin had certain privileges, such as a fixed share of immortal jade. After hearing Bai Wei mention this, he decided to go and collect his immortal jade. If you want to compete for the title of one of the 7 children of heavenly destiny, your cultivation must reach the mid-infant metamorphosis stage. On this destiny star, I, Wang Lin, intend to be a domineering figure. This is not a place for hiding one's brilliance and keeping a low profile. If I show weakness, I might be instantly trampled underfoot. Even the Destiny Child has turned a blind eye to such behavior, or else the earlier scene of slaughter would never have happened. Since it's like this, I'll see how far I, Wang Lin, can go within the Tianyun sect. As long as I don't cross the bottom line of the Destiny Child and Master, here, everything can be done according to my own will. A gleam of brilliance flashed in Wang Lin's eyes.